Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we got a whole bunch of new black Digimon to talk about. Well, 4 black Digimon and a Tamer, but 2 of them are level 6s, and that makes me pretty gosh darn happy indeed. Plus, there's a train fiend going on in today's video, apparently. I don't know. I can only show you what they've gone and revealed. So let's start off having a little bit of a chat about Guardramon. Guardramon comes in as a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 4,000 power. You've got Blocker, which is lovely. And when you play, one of your Digimon gains 3,000 power until the next time your opponent's turn ends. Translations here from the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev and the lovely folks at Ensan Gaming. So this is cool. It's Guardramon, it's going to have Blocker. If Guardramon doesn't have Blocker, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that card. That sounds wrong to me. Guardramon not having Blocker makes me frankly feel a little bit queasy. I don't want it. And you get a little power boost, and that's it. 4,000 power isn't really high, but you are at least a blocker, and you'll get a lot of level 3s. You know, by get them, I mean block without being deleted, which is nice. Plus a nice little power boost if you play. It's not amazing, but you are allowed to attack. And let's not forget that we've got a Guardramon that doesn't let us attack. So, I don't know. Yay. Having said that, the other Guardramon's got 7,000 power, so this is pretty weak as far as Guardramon goes. And obviously, if you give yourself the power boost, then you go up to 7,000 power, but then you've got to muck about giving yourself a power boost. It's just a little bit awkward. I like that you can block. I like that you can give a power boost. I like that you're not stopped from attacking, like Guardramon has been in the past. But I don't really look at this and see anything that I particularly love along those lines. And for that, I'm rather sorry. Now, moving up into level 5, we've got Locomon here. And this is where the train bit of the video starts. I think is fair to say. If you're into trains and Digimon, this might be the video for you. Now we've got a level 5 here, 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power. So for what it's worth, slightly cheaper to play normally than we would expect from a level 5. Normal power, normal evolution cost, but slightly cheaper to play is good. And on your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into GrandLocomon in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. And that's it. That's the card. It's a level 5, which is ever so slightly cheaper to play than normal. Average power, average evolution cost, and it lets you Digivolve into GrandLocomon a little bit more cheaply. And that's it. And if you really want to play a GrandLocomon deck, then I've got wonderful news. This is a phenomenal level 5 that you should be getting on board with and be very happy about. But I do think it's essentially that. If you don't want to play exactly that level 6, I think maybe leave it. But if you do want to play that exact level 6, well, you know what? This seems pretty gosh darn good. Hey, speaking of which, we should probably talk about that exact level 6, GrandLocomon. And what we've got here is your average level 6, 11 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Everything exactly like we would expect. So hopefully we've got some kind of skill here that can make us happy. Well, on your turn, this Digimon cannot attack your opponent's Digimon. It's not a great start if I'm honest with you, although worth pointing out that you can still attack the stack, which is clearly a nice thing. And then we've got a second skill. On both turns, this Digimon gains 1,000 power for each cyborg or machine type Digimon in your trash. Oh yeah, though, that's stupid powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That's like ridiculous, dumb, over-the-top powerful. Now, obviously, Guardramon definitely counts here. You probably shouldn't be surprised by that. And obviously, Locomon counts here as well. We did look at a couple the other day. Cyberdramon is a cyborg, shockingly. And Justamon Blitzarm is a cyborg. So they will totally count, and that's lovely. Not all black cards are cyborg or machine. That is very important to note. but quite a lot of them are. There is a reason why, we see themes throughout. We see more plant and insect Digimon in green than we do in other colours, and we see things like cyborgs and machines in black more than we do in other colours. That shouldn't really surprise anyone. So in that regard, this is kind of cool. But that's what the card does. You cannot build yourself up into some giant unstoppable monster that can take out any of your opponent's Digimon. It's not going to work. You can't attack Digimon. But what you can do is build yourself up into this ridiculously powerful Digimon that can attack the stack and not care. Not even a little bit. Because you're really not going to. Because if you're playing a cyborg deck, right, let's be clear. If you're playing this, you're playing a cyborg and machine deck. So all you need to do is get a few cards in the trash, and you're going to easily, 15,000 power is generally as high as we see in terms of Digimon. 16,000 power is the record. So unless your opponent is really building up their security Digimon's power, you get half a dozen cyborg or machine Digimon in the trash, and you can basically attack the stack knowing that you are not going to be deleted regardless of what comes out. I cannot be the only one that thinks this is a really, really, really cool skill. And incidentally, that's why you can't attack into Digimon. It's got to be into the stack, because otherwise you would have pretty much guaranteed the most powerful Digimon on the field. Could be a little bit unfair. Now, it is worth pointing out, of course, it's a free cost to Digivolve, but it's only a 2 cost to Digivolve if you Digivolve from Locomon. And Locomon is a little bit cheaper than normal. If you've got 8 memory, you can play Locomon and Digivolve into GrandLocomon. It's only going to cost 8 memory. To get a level 6 out, especially one as powerful as this, that's pretty cheap, honestly. That is, that's pretty gosh darn cheap. But it's not the only level 6 we need to talk about in this video. We've also got ourselves Reapmon. Oh, actually, as a side note here, it is worth noting that actually GrandLocomon is a common. So in pauper formats, which I know some people do like playing, this could be an absolute beast. Also, try and get extra security attack, would you? That is going to make it so much easier. Right, Reapmon then. What have we got? 12 cost to play normally is kind of expensive. 4 cost to Digivolve is kind of expensive. 11,000 power is standard. But you've got Reboot, which means you can unsuspend this Digimon during your opponent's unsuspend phase, which is lovely. It means either you can give it blocker, and you can attack on your turn and block on your opponent's, or you just attack on your turn, and your opponent goes, ha 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 ha. That means that I can attack you on my turn, because I can attack suspended Digimon, and then you go, ha 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 ha. No, you can't. Because actually, what I'm going to do is reboot at the start of your turn, and then it's just not going to be an issue, and that's going to be rather lovely. So Reboot's a nice skill. We've seen it on a bunch of Digimon before, but that doesn't matter. It's still a really good skill that we like. And then on your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon is unsuspended, de-Digivolve 1 that Digimon. I love this. Essentially, your opponent unsuspends, you de-Digivolve them. And it only works once, it's once per turn, that you can have multiple Reapmon and therefore use it multiple times. But I love the idea that your opponent's like, haha, I'm going to unsuspend, and you're like, boom, fine. But you've lost your level 6 or your level 7 or whatever it might be. I just think that's kind of hilarious. I don't know if it's a game-breaking card, I'll be honest with you. Reboot plus de-Digivolve 1 when they unsuspend. I don't like it as much as I like GrandLocomon, but I think it's a kind of cool card with a little bit of potential. And then we can finish off with Kazu Shiota. We got a free cost to play Tamer here, and at the start of your main phase, when you have a Digimon with cyborg or machine in its traits, gain 1 memory. Well, good news, that's what we're talking about here, yeah? This is a video where we're just talking cyborg and machine, which is why Kazu goes so nicely in this particular video. So, it basically, you pay free memory to get it out, although obviously it's got that same skill that all Tamers have, which is that as a security card you can play it for free, and then you gain a memory at the start of every turn. Not stunning, still pretty cool. However, When your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its trait gets suspended, you may suspend this Tamer, draw one, and then discard one card from your hand. Now, firstly, drawing a card is good, drawing Digimon is pretty bad, there's not a lot of draw, etc. But secondly, and this is pretty gosh darned important, remember, in order to power up GrandLocomon, what you really want to be doing is just throwing Cyborg and Machine into your trash so you can get the extra power, and that will power it up nicely. And this lets you trash those cards. So that's kind of cool. In a Cyborg or Machine deck, you're literally gaining memory every turn. You should be drawing a card every turn. And then you can even try and get some Cyborg or Machine in your trash to help GrandLocomon if you're playing it. This is a really good Tamer. Outside of Cyborg and Machine decks, no. Don't like it. Don't think you should play it. Don't think it's particularly good. But inside, yeah. I like this, ladies and gentlemen. I like this very much indeed. So there we go. I am definitely building a GrandLocomon deck, even if it's just for some kind of pauper format. I like it, and I think it could be cool. But I want to know what you think about that, about Reapmon, about any of the other cards we've talked about in this video. So go nuts in the comment section, would you? But be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.